All right, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Edison Club. I'm your host, Mike, and happy Wednesday to everyone. Today we have yet another match from this Picante Trading Card Games local that happened last Saturday at Picante TCG in Greensboro, North Carolina. This is a Switch tournament. So here today we have Cody Hug on the left, who I believe is playing Vayu Turbo, versus the legendary, the well-known, the man, the myth, the legend, Mayberry himself. I had to glaze him there. He hates being glazed. So before we get started with today's game, as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really just motivates me to keep going, getting better at the game, as well as content creation. Also, while you're here, head on down to this video's description and follow the links I have posted there to the other Edison format content creators. Odds are, if you like what I make, you'll like what they make as well. Also, in the video's description, you'll find the links to my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. Should you wish to become a channel supporter, I always greatly appreciate it. So, starting things off, here we have an Upstart Goblin. It's going to put Cody to 9,000 life. Gammons is playing the GigaVise deck on the right here with the green Spellground mat. And I am very excited. This was the one I was the most excited to actually record, just to kind of see this deck in action. GigaVise is a relatively new Edison deck that took a couple spots in the top cut of YCS Orlando. So it's definitely the plant takeover in Edison format. So definitely excited to see what ends up happening here. So from Cody, we see an Allure, banishing a Sirocco, setting a couple of back row here. Here we have Gold Sarcophagus. In this deck, Gold Sarcophagus can actually be very toolboxy, because not only can you just Gold Sarc and wait 2 turns to get the card, you can also do stuff like Gold Sarc for Lone Fire and then activate DDR to immediately pull back whatever you banish. So multi-dimensional Gold Sarcophagus is in this deck. So after that, looks like Gammons is going to pass over to Cody, who once again is just going to set a back row and pass. Very slow-paced gameplay here, back and forth. Vayu has not yet summoned a monster. Passing back to Gammon, setting a back row. Passing back to Cody, setting another back row. We have lots of back row battles going on here. And this turn is going to be when Mayberry gets his Lone Fire Blossom. Will we see a Resolution Trap Dust Shoot? I do not think so. Who will be the first player to summon a monster this game? I am very curious to see what ends up happening. I don't exactly know how well Gigaplant plays through back row. I guess we're going to find out. Normal summon Lone Fire Blossom is immediately hit with Solemn Judgment. 4,000 damage to the dome immediately. I know there's sometimes people will say like, oh, it's okay if they do that because it's half their life, but sometimes it just depends on the way your hand is. Like sometimes that can just be your entire turn. So pass back to Cody here. Looks like Cody's hand is just flooded with Siroccos in hand, so maybe that's why he's not able to actually summon anything. He might have actually opened all 3 Siroccos. I can definitely see another one in there. So Cody will set a monster face down and pass. The hand shuffling is very funny when you're watching it on like 1.5 speed, because it just looks like everyone is so ADHD. But this is sped up 1.5%, so it's like 150%. All right, plant player, it's time to make a play. All right, another back row. Tribute Necrogardna for Caius the Shadow Monarch. Looks like Cody's asking, is the summon successful? Basically meaning no Solemn Judgment. Going after a back row is going to hit the most recently set, which I believe is Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Phoenix Wing Wind Blast will be chained. Discarding a Dandelion. Doesn't really get much better than that. So what will he be targeting with Dandelion? He's going to target a back row. Goes back to top of deck. Now Dandelion will spawn 2 tokens. It's one of the reasons why I've actually wanted to play this plant deck, because Dandelion is just such a fun card. Then you kind of get to like express your own like personality with like your whatever you choose to use as tokens. It's pretty cool. MST hitting Burial from a different dimension. I don't know if Cody had just set that this turn or not. I was too busy talking about tokens, yapping on that. Mark of the Rose, banishing Lone Fire, taking control of Caius the Shadow Monarch. This card is so crazy, was so overlooked for so long. I kind of feel like this is just going to keep being the progression of Gigaplants. Like, in the beginning, you had Amaryllis that took advantage of stuff like Mark of the Rose and Hidden Armory, but it seems like Gigaplant is just better than Amaryllis. Sorry, Nick Trudden. If I'm wrong, please feel free to tell me. All right, we're going to tribute summon Titanial. Down comes Sirocco. Down comes Gale. I'm assuming that Gale was attempting to have Titanial and gets negated. 2,000 damage from Sirocco directly. I will also tell you guys that Gammons is new to this plant deck. He did tell me after the tournament that he felt like he misplayed every single round. So here we go again. Mark of the Rose, round 2. Vanishing Titanial, taking control of Sirocco. Brain Control is such a good card in the format. Why not just play as many as you want, especially searchable Brain Controls? I'd actually heard some people say that they had considered cutting Brain Control from Gigaplants just because you already have searchable Brain Control. So here comes DDR, targeting, I believe, well, there's only 2 targets. Titanial, I think. Down comes Titanial. And this is a lot of pressure here. Mirror Force is going to hit both. Looks like Cody picked up a deck dev for turn. T set and pass. Finally gotten the Vayu player down to no cards in hand. 3 set back row, 1 set monster against Gammon's set back row. I'll also bounce back and forth between calling him Gammon's and Mayberry. I've known him for my whole life as Michael Gammon's. Mayberry is kind of a new thing I've been calling him. Flip summon Raikou, target the back row. Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. So he's going to have to mill one of these back row, which is actually kind of crazy. Looks like that's Return from a different dimension. Return back Sirocco. So I believe Cody is at like 2,000 or less now. $200 from Raikou. And 2,000 from Sirocco. Does Mayberry have Gores? Doesn't look like it. Looks like Supervise and something else. He's going to fire off Deck Devastation Virus just to put that Sirocco in the graveyard, which is pretty cool. If he can ever hit a Vayu, he's going to be so loaded up on gas if he can just ever get there. Looks like he picks up Hamster for turn. I can't speak for Vayu, but I know from the perspective of a Lightsworn player that it sucks so bad to just have to keep setting monsters face down that I actually only play one Raikou in Lightsworn now. But it's very good at times in Vayu because you can protect your set cards with traps. So here comes Giant Trinade. DDR back Lone Fire. And he has Supervise in his hand. So this can just turn into full combo here. Now we're going to get to see what Lone Fire Supervise can do. And I guess, actually, never mind. I'm sorry. We're not going to see the full combo. I forgot he was pretty low on life. So just Titanial over Raikou is probably the game. Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes when you do stuff like Return and Judgment in the same game, you have to become very conscious of your life points, especially against a deck that can easily throw out Gigaplants and Titanials and hit you for a lot of damage. So I don't know that I would have done anything different. Sometimes you just forget. That's just Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes you get in the zone. So we have Mayberry taking game 1 here against Vayu Turbo playing Gigaplants. If you're still here, thank you so much for being a part of the channel. I really appreciate all of you, and hopefully you guys enjoy these dual videos with the commentary. I know that I really enjoy making them. This was a highly requested topic for quite some time, and I finally decided that I'm taking my laptop with me to locals from now on to record in-person gameplay. We do have another Switch tournament at a different store, Easy Gaming, coming up on the 22nd, so I'm sure I'll be bringing my computer with me, recording some matches from there as well. So we just have some side decking going on here now. If you hear those little paw prints, those little feet walking around, my dog is very curious as to what I'm doing here. All right, looks like Gammons is all ready to go into game 2 here, shuffling up. I'm going to do some power shuffle from both players. Cody's doing like a 7-pile shuffle while Mayberry is doing a 6. I don't know if there's actually any math behind which one is better. I did a video on shuffling a couple years ago, and I need to actually go back and revisit that because some of the information just wasn't great, and some of the names I gave to the shuffles also was not correct. Definitely going to be retconning that at some point. I think that Gammon's mat is also so cool. The green hollowed ground. I used to have one like that. I really wish I hadn't have gotten rid of it. All right, looks like we have Cody going first here. Will we see a Blackwing Armed Wing hit the field this game? Who knows? Looks like we just have a T set and pass from Cody. Gammon's picking up a card for turn here. Plays Upstart Goblin, draws a card after drawing for turn. Also, look at the sick Book of Moon sleeves he has. So, activating Hidden Armory, milling over DDR, searching for Supervise. And this is where this deck is just so scary, because if you don't have a way to stop it, this deck can put up so much pressure so quickly. Setting a back row, we have a Hamster Flip. Going to go set a Raikou. Down comes Armageddon Knight, so maybe we're actually going to get to see an Armed Wing hit the field this time. Oh, actually, going straight for Necro Gardener. I can respect that. This deck is very scary. It can put up a lot of pressure, as I mentioned previously, and OTKU, so definitely respect for sending the Gardener there. Looks like he's attacking with both Armageddon Knight as well as Hamster. And Vayu, looks like they have the initiative right now. Gammon's going to have to definitely put something together pretty quick in order to come back from all of this. Because now Cody can flip the Raikou and hit the monster that he just set. Which I assume is probably Dandelion. There's Dandelion's going to put out 2 blockers. I'm definitely glad to see a deck that can finally take advantage of just playing the plant cards, man. I'm not a big Tengu plant enthusiast, but I think everyone kind of just loves plants. Just very cool. Not really archetype, but I guess just overall just type to be playing with Spore and Dandelion and Glow Up Bulb, Titanial, all those things. So pretty cool. So Cody swinging out with everything here, clearing the Dandelion tokens. Back comes Plague Spreader Zombie. And I believe that's level 8. So he's probably going to go for Stardust here. I think that was... Yeah, that was definitely Thought Ruler, I believe, because if it was Stardust, he would have negated Bottomless. So, Thought Ruler gets Bottomless. Will we see a Gigaplant crazy turn this time? Here comes Hidden Armory yet again. Milling over Brain Control. Searching for DDR. A lot of this deck is just walling up, just waiting for the right time to just explode. Will it be this turn? Here comes Mark of the Rose, banishing Dandelion to take control of Armageddon Knight. Armageddon Knight is going to attack. Raikou will destroy Mark of the Rose, so Cody gets back his Armageddon Knight. Milling some cards, Mayberry setting 2 back row and passing. Armageddon Knight yet again attacking for 1400. Set another back row and set another defense. Here comes Trap Dust Shoot. Chaining Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Heavy Storm, DDR, and Supervise in hand. So what will end up happening from here? I feel like DDRing back Dandelion isn't great because you're just going to use it as a blocker yet again. So it's always cool when you see people that actually use their life as a resource rather than just like stopping everything. Gammon's moving his playmat a little bit. Moving it back. Sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. I can't see his graveyard anymore, though. So, guys, we're riding blind now. All right, here comes Heavy Storm hitting Bottomless and Torrential and one of his own back row, which I don't see what it is. I think it might have been another Bottomless. Summon a monster, attributed it. I assume it's Lone Fire Blossom. Here comes Gigaplant. SuperVise. And I think he told me after this game he misplayed because he should have actually Lone Fired twice. Because Gigaplant does not target. So if you have both Lone Fires engraved, then DD Crow basically can't stop you from getting back Lone Fire. But I think he just launched one of them. So at any rate, Copy Plant coming out off of Lone Fire. And this can make a Black Rose Dragon or a Power Tool or an Ancient Fairy. I don't know if they even play Ancient Fairy, but I know they play Black Rose and Power Tool. It's going to destroy the field. SuperVise Reborn's back. Gigaplant, man, that is so good. That is so crazy good that works that way. Here comes a T-set from Cody. And now it's dangerous because Gigaplant can just be normal summoned and start bringing back stuff. Looks like now Gigaplant has been normal summoned. Looks like they might be checking out a quick ruling here. Don't know what it's about. Perhaps maybe checking to see if you can use priority with Gigaplant on the normal summon, which you should be able to because it's just a normal summon. Thank goodness that we have resources to actually find out Edison rulings now, because back in the day, it was kind of just a lot of he said, she said going on. We didn't really ever have clear answers on things. Even like the judges at actual events, like that's why we have some whack rulings for Edison, like quick draw activating in the hand when it very obviously doesn't. So glad we have these resources now. Gigaplant's effect looks like it is going to be activated. It's going to reborn back a plant, non-targeting reborn back a plant, in fact. Gamon's just checking the graveyard just to see what he has in there. Yeah, Gigaplant is such a problem if it's on the field and you can't clear it. It's also significantly harder to clear than something like Dark Grepher because there's nothing that you can normal summon and just swing over it. Fossil Dyna, okay, so that was a very good set there from Cody. That might actually be enough to turn the tide of this entire game. So here comes Vayu and Sirocco getting banished to summon Armed Wing. Wind Blast, sending it straight back to the extra deck. Fossil Dyna was very, very good there. Set one back row for Mayberry. Down comes Dark Grepher, swinging in for 1,700. And that's going to take, Cody's going to take game 2. So good job, Cody. That was a very well-timed Fossil Dyna play. Definitely won him the game there, because without that, having Titanial and Gigaplant is so much pressure, because every turn, Gigaplant is just going to summon that Titanial right back after Titanial negates something that targets it. So good work from Cody there. Super excited to see who ends up taking game 3. I don't know. So for any of you Gigaplant enjoyers, any of you Gigaplant enthusiasts, how is the Vayu matchup for your deck? It seems like it's actually pretty good. You don't really have that many cards that are affected by DDV. Maybe Oppression is like the biggest hurdle that you have to overcome with this deck. It almost makes me wonder, will we see more of the Bird Flu variant of Vayu, which can just go straight into Eradicator, which I do feel like is very impactful against Gigaplant. So here we are in game 3 of Vayu Turbo versus Gigaplant. We have Mayberry starting things off here. Let's see if we get a turn 1 combo. So first thing we're going to see is Foolish Burial come down. Sending Dandelion. And this looks like a setup for Super Solar Nutrient. Okay, we have Lone Fire Blossom. Tributing off itself. And let's see if he does the play to play around DD Crow here. So here comes Gigaplant. Supervise. So I don't know, maybe he had the other Lone Fire in his hand, or maybe he just wasn't super aware of like the DD Crow, being able to play around Crow at this time. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, this was Gammon's first day playing this deck at locals, so obviously Rome wasn't built in a day. You learn a lot of things along the way. But we have our first Power Tool of the match hitting the field, and I always felt as if Power Tool some way would end up being a major problem for Edison. It's like any Synchro that does something in the main phase is just bound to be broken. So we have stuff like Bryonic, obviously, that bounces stuff. We have stuff like Dark End Dragon that can get rid of stuff. Anything that problem solves from outside of the battle phase can always be a problem. I always felt as if Underground Arachnid could end up seeing some kind of play because it's like a relinquished. So who knows? You know, we have Gigaplant now, which is basically tier 1. And 2 months ago, everyone was saying that Edison was solved, myself included. And now we have brand new deck popping up. I love to see it. So Gammon's inboard is Supervise, equipped to Gigaplant with Power Tool with a token with a set trap and unknown equip spell searched off of Power Tool. So this is a lot of pressure. Cody needs to be able to actually clear at least the Gigaplant in order to have a chance at winning this game. So we do have Sirocco and Gale coming down. Gale is such a crazy card. Just being able to have and then also Synchro is just so good, man. I'm so glad that card is limited to 1 in Edison format. Looks like Gale is having the attack and defense, I believe. I think it has both. A Power Tool has to have defense, or I feel as if he wouldn't have done that. Oh, and he gets hit with the Mirror Force, which I actually didn't even know that this deck played. I would have played right into that. So we have Power Tool activating again, which is going to get him another equip spell. So revealing Supervise, DDR, and Supervise. So he has a pretty good chance of getting Supervise here. The good thing about the plant deck is this is also pretty cheap to build. The only expensive card I think is Black Brute Drago, which is randomly like $75 now if you haven't looked it up lately. Very expensive card. We have a Gigaplant activation, chaining Dust Tornado to Supervise. I don't actually know. I think that they were trying to figure this out when I walked over, because I walk over pretty soon because I finished my match. I think that they had just said that the effect wouldn't resolve, but I'm pretty sure as long as that effect is activated, that it will resolve. If you know in the comment section down below, please let us know if you have Supervise equipped to Gigaplant and you activate the effect and they Dust Tornado your Supervise, does the effect still resolve? I would say yes, personally. So here comes Heavy Storm, destroying Mirror Force. So down comes Supervise, and we're activating Gigaplant again. So I don't think that you can actually activate it again because it's still the same card. I'm pretty sure his initial effect would have resolved. But that's kind of what you deal with when you're starting to learn like a brand new deck. No one really knows the rulings. No one really has played Gemini cards in Edison. There was that Gemini deck that was really good for a little while, but it just fell out of favor very quickly. So we'll kind of learn all this together. But Supervise is going to revive back Gigaplant. And now he still has his regular normal summon. So this Gigaplant is perfectly legal. We'll revive back Lone Fire Blossom. This is going to get launched into a Titanial. I think he's basically just going to say, you don't have Gores, I'm winning this turn. At least I think that's Titanial. We have a little bit of a glare. I promise that moving forward, I'm going to do something about the glare and the map placement. I usually put up a tape line so people know where to put the edge of their playmats. And I didn't bring my tape with me. So moving forward, we will have that. So we're swinging out with everything here. I don't know how much damage this is, but it is quite a lot. Cody does have the Gores. We're going to kill the Gores. So he has a Gores token, but I don't know which one he dropped it on. I think it was the Stardust Dragon. Or maybe it was the Titanial. Also, if you guys would like to hear audio from the players that are playing, also let me know, because I do have microphones that each player can wear. So if you ever want to hear the players mic'd up, we can definitely do that. So comment down below and let me know if you would prefer to hear that or to hear my nails on a chalkboard style of voice. Cody under a lot of pressure to clear all this, and it's not going to be easy to clear Titanial, Gigaplant, Power Tool, Stardust, and a token with only 2 cards. I don't think there's any 2 cards in Edison that can do that. Cody's going to sit and think about it for a minute, decide whether or not he can break this field. Here comes Dark Grepher, sending Sirocco, sending Vayu. But I don't really see where this gets him. I did forget that he does still have the token from Gores. So Armed Wing is going to swing over the Power Tool that was halved previously by Gale. Very important that the attack of that was halved. Then we kill a token. And then we're going to crash with Gigaplant. So I guess he dropped it. I think he dropped it on the Stardust Dragon. And it looks like Gammon's picked up Lightning Vortex for turn. Yes, Lightning Vortex. That's curtains. All right, lights out for Vayu Turbo. Gigaplant took this one home. Very, very scary deck this Gigaplant is, man. Like, I definitely was not on my 2025 bingo card for plants to become a real deck in Edison format. So that's about all I have for you guys today. I will be bringing you more matches from this tournament throughout the rest of the week, so make sure you stay tuned. All right, thank you guys for watching. This is Mike from the Edison Club, signing out until the next one.